Hey everybody. All right, so hopefully you'll have seen my video right before this that explains how all this is different and why I'm looking bright red and all that stuff. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is actually going to be your must-knows before you start your locks. Honestly, this is an ongoing list, so I'm probably only going to do like 5 in this video, and obviously like, comment, or whatever if you want a part 2. I want to put the information out there. I even got my little card to make sure I stay on task, y'all. Y'all be so proud of me. All right, number 1. The first thing that you really need to know when it comes to starting your locks is that your whole product game is going to have to shift up a little bit. And what I mean by that is that locks don't operate the same way loose natural hair does with product. It's going to, as your locks like progress, especially once you're mature, it's no longer going to be as porous, and so product, if it's not water soluble, will get stuck in your locks. Like, you will have residue, and that is one of the main reasons that your hair gets heavy and it just is uncomfortable. You know, if you did watch any of my hair cutting video that I posted before, you'll see when I cut my locks, I showed you there was no product residue. So I promise I'm telling you the truth. You've got to use water soluble products or heavily dilute any other products that you use. So keep that in mind. And I can make a separate video talking about what to look for in those products as well if you're open to that. Number 2, your locks are not going to look like locks right away. Please know this. Please accept this. When you first start your locks, they are going to look maybe like some twists, like some comb coils, but as they start puffing and doing their own thing, they're not going to look like your traditional uniform locks that you can't tell now with it being in twists, but they're not going to look uniform. Like the locks that you see on TV, in the magazines, on your friend or your neighbor, whatever. So just be prepared for that, and be prepared to understand that this is a journey and it's going to take some time, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your locks. Okay, just know that. Number 3, parting is key. The way you part your locks is going to determine a lot of the way that it looks when you style. It's going to determine the thickness of your locks, and just it's going to create just the overall aesthetic. If you don't do the right type of parting, the right size partings, you're going to end up with locks that are either not uniform, not the best fit depending on like the thickness or density and all that of your hair. So you really need to do a little research and determine what you're looking for with that. And that kind of goes into my next one, number 4, which is that your size, the size of your locks is really heavily related to what kind of styling that you can do, right? And because I think that the jumbo size locks or the really large locks are beautiful, but you do have to remember that sometimes that can limit some styling, as well as that, the smaller your locks are, you may be able to style more, but certain looks, it's just going to look very different. It's not going to be the same. So maybe get a feel for what kind of styling you're looking for and what you're hoping for with your locks to make sure that you're going to get the right size. Not to mention that the size can really be great depending on the density and the texture of your hair, or it can be a real problem. So just make sure you keep that in mind so you don't end up with big gaps and spots depending on how much your locks will puff up versus they won't. So, don't worry. It is possible even if you have fine hair, but you just need to be really mindful with your parting. And number 5, the last part, is prepare for some kind of heavy maintenance at the beginning, okay? I know that locks tend to be, as time progresses, very low maintenance, but if you're wanting to have your locks look a certain way, or you've got this plan and image in your mind, unless it's freeform, you're gonna need to expect to do maintenance probably at least every 3 to 4 weeks at the longest when you're first starting your locks. The reason I say that is because when you're first starting, you're literally trying to train your hair to do what you want it to do. So the whole semi-free-forming movement can be a problem for people whose hair is more fine, especially if your hair doesn't grow straight into the lock. You're going to end up with a lot of thinning and potentially breakage at your roots if you start semi-free-forming too early. You need to really train your hair and try to get to know it to determine if that's going to be a good fit, as well as the palm rolling, or even if you're interlocking, having that consistently done is going to make sure that your hair is locking at the same pace and just create a more uniform look if that's what you're going for. If you're not going for that, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can kind of extend it out, but I would still be mindful that even if you don't want to retwist, get you a little crochet hook or tool. I wish I had mine on me now, but you can even just make sure that you use a hook to get the hair at the root to actually, the hair at the root to still grow into the lock. So that way you can make sure that that is consistent. So, and we can always talk more about that if you have questions, or definitely drop your questions below. But yeah, so those are my quick 5 things to know. And like I said, I definitely don't mind making a part 2 to this video, but keep those things in mind as you get ready to start, you know, your lock journey, and know that it can be a wonderful process if you know what to expect and if you plan accordingly. But yeah, so if you like this video, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe or share it. As I say before, you know, feel free to also check out my Instagram and my Facebook page. I'm going to try to start being more consistent there with posting not only my hair and what I'm doing, but also as now a licensed cosmetologist, any clients that I do, you know, posting those pictures so I can share that journey with you all as well. So have a wonderful day, and feel free to come back and check me out. Bye. What?